here we go.
Guys, guys, come on, I'm trying to start my show. Guys, no, come on, stop! Alright, that's it. I'm starting the show.
Damn it.
Ugh. This show is not for kids. This show is about chaos and talking over coffee. So let's get going. Call me the DarkTranny.
And we are back. Good morning. How was your weekend? It's Monday. Let's get this week started. Over the weekend, if you remember from the last episode on Friday, Lulu in Love asked that I watch My Son Hunter. I watched it. Let's see what happened. While I was on my treadmill doing a 15% incline, doing 6 miles on my climb, which I do every other day, I watched the film My Son Hunter. And that poor kid. Oh, God. That poor kid at a time, it's like, I look at it and it's like I can relate to it a bit because I had a pretty crazy freaking social life when I was younger. And that's where I feel that my empathy for him ends because I stopped getting up to that kind of crazy stuff, like all that debauchery and all that, like, just, oh, it's just demonic lifestyle and such. At a certain point, I just said I had had enough. Okay? So I stopped that shit in my 30s. Now, I think Hunter and I are approximately the same age, and he's still doing it. So it's one thing when you're younger and being crooked and evil and just narcissistic and your head's not on straight and everything. At this point, Hunter has no excuse. Ooh, that film just it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely reminded me that I am very, 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 very thankful for Jesus Christ and what Jesus Christ did for us, dying for our sins. I mean, what can I say? It's like that film, Lulu. Oh my Lord. Okay, you can hear me? Thank you, thank you. That intro. I'm hoping you guys would like that. And Lulu says, it was a mess. Disgusting. They are in our White House. They are selling us out. Yes, yes, and conditioning us. Trying to condition us. Definitely in the media, they're trying to make things normal, which should not be normal. I look at it like this. It's like the new normal is normalizing that which we found offensive, say 20 years ago. And throughout our history, there are certain things you just do not do in a society. And they're doing it and calling anyone who looks at what they're doing as being extreme, when they themselves are committing some of the most extreme acts of anti-human conduct. I mean, it's just sick. And I have to do a warning. Let me do my morning cough. I have to issue a warning about this particular episode. I'm not going to be showing any visuals, but I'm going to be telling you a story of something that happened over the weekend, which I'm not dispensing black pills. I still have my faith in God. I still have my faith in humanity, but here, why don't I just start by plugging the American Rant, the American Citizen. Here, let me drop you his link to Reverend Rant. I'm just gonna drop that in the chat right here. And we're gonna start the morning off with Reverend Rant's video he made over the weekend, which you'll see. Here, let me just play it for you. No sound. Okay, so you're saying that you cannot hear him. All right, let me check. Oh, okay. Let's start over. I am so sorry, guys. Tell me,
Weaponized government political attacks. Antifa burns the country. Black Lives Matter establishes Marxist terrorism. Drag shows sexualize children. Feminism is pushing Marxism. But white men are the problem. How much more will you tolerate? Roe versus Wade is overturned during the election cycle.
Okay, I am sorry, guys. I don't know why you can't hear him. Um, mm, what is it not doing? Let me just look here. Well, that's not good. Privacy and security. Is there something going on here? Oh, oh no. Okay, well, Reverend Rant. Let me drop this link in. So you guys can hear. Oh, you can hear him. Now you can hear him?
Americans are encouraged to accept welfare. Children are taught to rely on the government. My Body, My Choice celebrates killing children. Vaccines are made from stem cells. But everybody must get an abortion. How much more will you tolerate? Private email servers holding classified information. American delegates murdered in Benghazi. Hotel room temper tantrums over a lost election. The Russia hoax. Weaponized FBI political raids. They must stop. The Orange Man bad. How much more will you tolerate? Hunter Biden's laptop. Ashley Biden's diary. Epstein's Island. Hiding Maxwell's client list. Child sex trafficking afflicts the United States. Joe Biden thinks 9-year-olds are sexy. How much more will you tolerate? Democrats legalize pedophilia in California. Minor attracted person becomes acceptable. Pedophiles are considered stigmatized. Children attend drag shows. Children get exposed at pride parades. They want to expose genitals to children. How much more will you tolerate? More children suffer from gender dysphoria. Children are being rushed into sex changes. Pronouns are required. Men should be feminine. Women should be masculine. Democrats want you to cut off your penis. How much more will you tolerate? The January 6th FBI Black Flag op. Ashley Babbitt murdered. Michael Byrd is now the only good cop. Pelosi says her laptop was stolen. 800 people get no court date. Democrats want to arrest everyone. How much more will you tolerate? Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, One World Government, New World Order, the Great Reset. You will own nothing. How much more will you tolerate? Democrats politicize children. Democrats sexualize children. Parents are declared terrorists by the DOJ. Children are told their sexual identities. Child porn is considered normal. Parents have no rights to protect their children. How much more will you tolerate? Election fraud was proven. Stolen votes were verified. Dominion machines were hacked. Mail-in ballots didn't add up. Mules and drop boxes. But only votes for Democrats count. How much more will you tolerate? Billions in Ukraine. Protect the bioweapon labs. Money laundered to the energy companies. Quid pro quo. Tax dollars stolen. Democrats will launder more money. How much more will you tolerate? Bail doesn't work. Violent criminals are set free. Diversity hires matter more. All black people are victims. All brown people don't understand. All white people are racist. How much more will you tolerate? How much more will you tolerate? How much more will you tolerate? What we tolerate now becomes normal to the next generation. We cannot afford to tolerate anymore. No more tolerance.
No more. Absolutely. No homo. Reverend Rant, I love you. Absolutely. No more tolerance for this bullshit. It's not a call to violence, it's a call to point out what the hell is being pushed on us as being socially acceptable. It's absolutely crazy. Reverend Rant summed it up very well in that video. So stop by the American Citizen. Let's see. Let me pull up his account one more time. The American Rant Show, American Citizen on Odysee, and throw Reverend some love. He's a warrior against this normalization of crazy shit. And with that, let me get into what happened over the weekend. The lines sound too aggressive compared to voice. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that after the show. Let's see. Wow, he makes it all seem so depressing, but there is a huge pushback going on. It's definitely a spiritual war right now. Yeah, like I said, we're not dispensing black pills out here. It's like sometimes the truth is ugly, and it's not a black pill moment. There is hope. We have God. We have our faith. And it's like it's not all darkness. It's just that we have to go through this. So it's a matter of unifying and putting our petty, I mean, it's like I could say petty differences. What needs to be, well, what what I would like to have happen is for people to recognize that we have a common enemy who is attacking us regardless of your personal beliefs about, like, they're trying to divide us by skin color. They're trying to divide us by gender. They're trying to make a bunch of genders to like confuse people. They're going after the kids. They're going after the security of our nation. And we're not alone because other nations are going through the same thing. And the media and the social media, the mainstream, is trying to silence us and tell us that we're crazy for pointing out what's obviously happening. I mean, you just go out into society and take a look. It's like there is nothing that is being said, which by the majority, I don't feel that what is considered to be terrorism is false. It's like, of course, they're going to say that people like us are terrorists because we're a threat to whatever sick, disgusting plans they have in store for all of us. And I'm just not into that kind of kink. So, let's move on to 2 Minutes to Midnight. Okay, 2 Minutes to Midnight is another content creator who uses VR to make these wonderful videos and such. And yes, I will be getting to Rougarou in a moment. That's coming up. So hold tight. But yesterday, 2 Minutes and I we were conducting like a type of social experiment in a room, like it's like chat roulette, and I don't know exactly where we were, but we were trying to find people who weren't just sitting around jacking off to actually like ask them questions like, do you find fulfillment in life by doing what you're doing? We were curious and we ran into some people. We met a Dane who actually had a conversation with us and like said, no, this isn't fulfilling at all, but it's something to do. And the person we were speaking to was seemed by text to be enjoying that we were looking to actually have conversations with people about world issues and such in the middle of what seemed to be a sex den online. So that conversation went well. And then we met another person who we also had, a conversation with, and I was like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. It's like we're turning them on. We're like plugging Pastor Chatelet And then 2 minutes and I, we dropped our links. So, these people who actually could take a moment out of their day of pleasuring themselves and maybe stop by and, take a look at our material. All right. It's just some people have kinks, and we went into a kinky area to, I guess, spread the word, so to speak. It was an experiment. All right. We're like, identifying as scientists. And then 2 minutes, and it's like, this part's the hard part. 2 minutes and I, 2 minutes, clicked on next. And there was a toddler on a changing table in a room which looked very well appointed. It looked like the person who owns the house probably has every need met. I could not see this man's head. This man was slapping the vulva of this toddler. The toddler's little arms and legs were flailing. The toddler's head was moving back and forth very quickly. I could not hear, but I could see the toddler was screaming. The man was fluffing his cock, and I was losing my mind because I didn't know how to process what I was looking at. And 2 minutes was frantically trying to close the window. And I think that we only saw 2 seconds of what was happening. And it felt like hours. I reacted. I have seen death. I served in Desert Storm. I have seen the after effects of explosions. I thought that was the worst thing I could ever see in my life. And now I have seen the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. And it won't get out of my head. So I spoke to Pastor Chatelet about this, because I didn't know what to do with this new information. And good morning, Gray Man. I didn't know what to do with this new information. I ended up, I went from screaming, no, 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 and saying 2 minutes, what the fuck did I just see? What the fuck did I just see? I remember that part. But my body went into an autonomic response that I have never felt before. And I just had to get up after that. I went into the kitchen and I gripped onto my countertop and my knees went weak and I began to collapse onto the floor. And do you know what it is to yell or scream cry, where you're like sobbing and screaming and yelling and crying, and it's like, and you don't know, your brain is so overloaded by what you've just experienced that you do not have control of your faculties any longer. And my husband came in and he looked alarmed, and I could not verbalize to him what I just saw. And then eventually I was able to verbalize it. And he looked at me, I guess, as compassionately as he could. I had to request to be held because he didn't know if I could be held in this state. God is going to judge everyone. And I asked Pastor if even this person's sins are forgivable. And I don't know if Pastor ever responded. I pray God is just. I pray God is just. And I don't know what happened to that toddler. But what the fuck? How did this even get to a client side application? For all of the technology and all of the like freaking fact checking and censoring and all this stuff that is done by the mainstream technology, that they can go and censor people for having common sense pro-nationalist views of God, family, and country. Those things somehow, by the algorithms, as this information passes from a content creator to a server to a, it goes and gets demodulated and remodulated to another server. It goes to a server farm. It gets demodulated, remodulated. All those bits and bytes of information at some point, it's like that stuff gets it gets checked. Like you upload a video to YouTube, and if you even have like a fragment of a song which is copyrighted, by the time that before it even publishes, it will already warn you that you have a content strike for copyright. So, if the technology is so advanced that it can pick up a song fragment as it's being sent into the server, how in the hell did 2 Minutes and I get exposed to what we saw yesterday? Who let that go through? Because we weren't on the dark web. We weren't in a Tor server situation. We weren't accessing a peer-to-peer situation. We were using the internet as the internet is. No special backdoors or anything. This is just straight up. So I have concluded, and I may be wrong, but I have concluded that the algorithms are okay with CP going and being transmitted. Because either there's one of two options. Either the people running the show in technology are completely incompetent, or they promote it. It's one or the other, because at this stage in the game, there's no excuse for ignorance. There's no fucking excuse for ignorance at this point. No one can say, oh, there weren't any safeguards in place. I don't buy that anymore. Because they can censor every other fucking thing, but that gets through. That got through. And the idea that someone put that shit together and put it online and went, and there's an audience for this shit. Because there are people who actually actively consume this and people don't want to talk about it. Oh, that's such an uncomfortable topic. Can't imagine what that toddler went through. Fucking sick. I'm gonna go over to comments. Let's see what's going on over here. All right, it's 8:29. All right, let's see what's going on. All right. Oh yes. Rougarou. Yes. The TV guide. I'm getting to that. I'll get to that right after. Templar charge. Yes, we need a Templar charge. And yes, that poor baby. Oh my God. It's like All right, guys. It's wood chipper tank. It's a wood chipper tank. A wood chipper tank. We need them. It's not called to violence, but I mean, what? Is someone going to have a problem with me saying that there needs to be some sort of, like, who in the fuck defends a pedophile? Who? What kind of fucked up brain does a person have to defend a pedophile. Blows my mind. Okay, they don't want to block that sickness because they're involved and want that crap normalized. I think they do. I think they want to normalize that shit. That's not... No! 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 Fuck that. Oh, hell no. Oh, I was talking... Okay, so, my baby says, I was talking to my wife and telling her, they suffered it. We only have to know about it to make it stop. It will break the psyche of some people. That is unfortunate, but it has to be. Everyone on earth has to know and see a little bit of it. I've been told there's worse. I was having a conversation with the Pond friends, and they have informed me that there are worse things out there than what I saw. You wanna what? Am I radicalized now? Is this the moment I get radicalized? I don't feel any different than I did before I saw the video, other than now I know what this is. And now I see it. It's not Hollywood. It was not a Hollywood production. It was not a Serbian film. It was not make-believe. It was real. It wasn't CGI. It wasn't animation. It was a fucking real scene. This person had everything. I could see they lived very well. Why do you need to do this to a toddler? What is missing from your fucking life? With what looked like a very nice room in the 2 fucking seconds I was exposed to your life, sir. What in the fuck is missing from your life that you think, what is this? I don't even want to consider what's going on in your head. But is that the response? Well, sir, let me tell you something. You did not defeat me. You did not defeat me. I am not crushed by what you did. I feel sorry for you. If you are not passing judgment, and at the same time, sir, you have fucked up your afterlife. I don't think that this is judgment. I am just analyzing. Sir, you have fucked up. And a silver lining to this is now I feel that what I'm doing is 100% what needs to be done. And if people like Joe Biden and the Joe Biden administration, and if people internationally, these monsters, want to say that someone like me is a terrorist, someone like Reverend Rant is a terrorist, because his, No More Tolerance video got banned. If they want to call Axe Truth a terrorist, if they want to call Pastor Shadley a terrorist, if they want to call us terrorists, 45-1, and everyone else, the list, we've got our community. If they want to call us terrorists, okay, I can't speak for everyone, I'll just speak for myself. If you want to call me a terrorist, fine. Then a terrorist I will be, but I'm not calling for violence. I am calling to the end of your control, though. Your time needs to end because you guys have gone too fucking far. You guys have gone too fucking far. Ooh. Right, let's go back to chats. Oh. And people need to get uncomfortable because when you know and do nothing, you are just as guilty. If you know this shit and you're not calling it out, you are complicit. Oh, Floki Village charge. I think Floki is a Sun Conure. Yes, we need the animals of the earth to join us on this one because, death is missing in their life. All right, so let's see. Time, it keeps on ticking. Okay, so now let's get to... So yes, 2 minutes to midnight. Go check out his channel. He's got several different personalities he plays, and all of them are highly entertaining. So let's see. Let's move on to what's on the air. Now, my baby was talking to this. Now, this is from Rogaroo. Let me open up Rogaroo's page again. I'm sorry, I should have already had this open. But we're going to drop in Rogaroo. And we are going to drop in his link right here. You can find Rogaroo on Odysee. Where did my chat box go? There it is. So here's Rogaroo's link. Now, Rogaroo, in conjunction with my baby, has made this. Watch this. Okay, I'm going to drop this link first. I want to show you guys. We have boomers in the audience. Watch this. All right, here comes the link for this guide I'm about to show you. Look at what has been put together. My baby, this is awesome. This portion tells you what's on the air right now. Okay? As you can see, here we are. But look at this, boomers. Hold on to your socks. Does that look like a TV guide? Is this a TV guide type thing I see? Is this an easily navigatable site for a schedule of based streamers? Good job. I love it. That is awesome. 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 Thank you for putting that together. Now it's like much easier to find like who's streaming when. For boomers like myself, yeah, we need things like this. All right, so let's close off that. I was going to cover this part about like legislative alert. I'm not going to cover this one, and I have to cough. Well, what I am going to cover is this. Did you know at one time the California abortion bill AB 2223 had anti-abortion, or not anti-abortion. It had language in it which to some degree is kind of vague still, but it made it okay to kill a baby after birth within a certain amount of days. There was like vague language in the original. And so people were calling out that the California bill promoted infanticide. Well, since the original bill, it's been modified before it was submitted, and some of the language was changed. I have a feeling that what's going to come up is Gavin Newsom is going to say something like, look at these right-wing extremists thinking that we were going to kill babies after birth. That's nowhere in our bill. And he would be right with the revisions. That's no longer in the bill. But there is some still like vague language about like perinatal care and stuff like that, where a child may die and then the coroner doesn't have to disclose certain information. It's muddy in that bill. So there are still like, little foggy loopholes which could be used. However, there's one part of the bill which talks about the person providing transport to the female who is going to be receiving the abortion, and it's along the lines of protecting that person's identity and relationship to the patient and such. And I pointed that out to my husband, and I said, if we protect the identity and the relationship of the person driving the female into the abortion clinic, and if the age restriction is not in place for minors, then this would open up a whole slew of abortions to hide evidence of rape, abuse, pimps. I mean, all that stuff. It's like, because if you're not collecting the data, then you can't quantify the data. So all you're left with are people who would voluntarily give their data, like, I'm this person's father, or I'm this person's mother, or I am this person's lover. But for all the people who are committing crimes, do you think that they're going to disclose the relationship they have to the female who's about to have, an abortion? I don't think they would. I think that's why criminals do what criminals do. They're not going to come forward and admit the crime, are they? So there's a loophole in this bill I see, which is going to be overshadowed by a bunch of drama making right-wing people, conservatives, based individual, people of God, family, and country. I think it's going to be spun to make us look like we're crazy for saying that something existed, because they have receipts that we have, said, this infanticide thing was in this bill because originally it was in the bill, but now it's not there. So they've removed that part. And so, they can make us look crazy. So that's my prediction. Did that make any sense? Was anyone tracking, or was I just babbling? So let's move back to chats and see what's going on over here. All right, click on the shows in the grid. Each cell has a pop-up. Thank you for explaining that. And thank you for putting that together. All right, let's see. We're at 8:40. We've got 20 minutes left before we move into 45.1 actual. Let's go back over here to the tab. Let's close this one off because Greta Thunberg cries every time you waste a resource. Now we get into this. National Human Trafficking Hotline. Look what we have over here. We have the LGBTQIA++ flag, and it's out of date. So maybe, maybe there should be a riot or something because they're not using the right flag right here. But look at this. Here, let me drop this link into the chat. So if you want to refer to it at all. All right. Let's just look at the myth. Okay? Myth. It's always or usually a violent crime regarding trafficking. Now let's look at the mental gymnastics of what we're about to read here. Reality. By far the most pervasive myth about human trafficking is that it always, or often, involves kidnapping or otherwise physically forcing someone into a situation. In reality, most human traffickers use psychological means such as tricking, defrauding, manipulating, or threatening victims into providing commercial sex or exploitative labor. So the myth is, it's always or usually a violent crime. No. In reality, they're just threatening victims into providing commercial sex. That makes sense, right? All right, let's read another one. I gave you the link so you can go through these on your own, so it's not an exhaustive portion, but it's look at this. Labor trafficking. How did we get to labor trafficking? Well, I guess it is national human trafficking. Reality. Okay, so myth. Labor trafficking is only or primarily a problem in developing countries. Reality. Labor trafficking occurs in the United States and in other developed countries, but is reported at lower rates than sex trafficking. Oh, I'm sorry. Under the Trump administration, there was all sorts of honesty which was being censored about trafficking. Under the do they think that we don't remember? Do they think that we have the memories of Alzheimer's patients or something? Do they think that they put enough aluminum or whatever the fuck to go and kill a person's brain cells? Do they not know that we have memories? We have individual lived experiences, to quote it's are they not respecting our lived experiences and our truth, and stuff like that. It's I seem to see a current administration which is actually facilitating trafficking. Gee. What is this one? Myth. Traffickers target victims they don't know. Reality. Many survivors have been trafficked by romantic partners, including spouses, and by family members, including parents. So we're talking about abusive people. Oh no, you're mistaken. These traffickers target victims they don't know, but in reality, they're actually the people who were supposed to love them. That's okay. What the fuck? Do you see the double speak? What is this? Myth. All commercial sex is human trafficking. Reality. Damn it, it just moved. All commercial sex involving a minor is legally considered human trafficking. Commercial sex involving an adult is human trafficking if the person providing commercial sex is doing so against his or her will as a result of force, fraud, or coercion. Okay, so let's say that you groomed a person. They're not going to feel like they're forced, defrauded, or coerced because you groomed them into believing it was normal. This little flag right here is a problem. It's this woke ideology making excuses. This is fucking human trafficking apologetics. I think I'm using that term correctly. That's fucked up. All right, now we're going to change the tone a little bit. Have y'all been to Secret Dreams Candle? Now, mind you, I'm not being, what is that word I'm looking for? I'm not being, sponsored by this, but they've got something cute. So I'm going to drop the link to, this place. Good morning, Atomic Blonde. Oh, Sweet Dreams Candle Company. All right. Let me show you what you can find. They don't have it in their site yet, but look what they're going to be carrying. Is this a frog candle? Jasmine and water lily. It's on Etsy right now. Apparently, this creator, I do not know this creator's name, but they're a pond friend from the Chatelet community. So let me drop that in so you can, if you want to, go and support a based candle maker with this very adorable frog candle. And then we're going to move on. Let me see. It looks like the rest of my tabs are about closing the show. So I'm going to leave this one up because I want to get back to that. Oh my gosh. But people, oh, pray. God help us. Oh. Let me see. How many minutes do we have left? Got 8:47. Okay, so I've got 13 minutes left before Okay, I'm gonna share something with you before the show started. You know, I live out in the country. And the pups, they sleep with us. We have 3, small dogs, and they sleep in the bed with us. And this morning during pre-show, I was getting the OBS together and everything, and I felt something crawling around in my hair. There was a tick in my hair, and somebody said, "Oh, you should have saved it for the show. You could have, plucked the tick out, and eaten it." And it's like, stop eating the bugs. It's like, Klaus Schwab, if you want to, you can come and, pick through my head if you want to, and you can eat all the fucking ticks you find. You can go and pick through my dogs. Actually, no, I'm not going to Klaus, you're not touching my dogs. I would let you nowhere near my dogs. You sick motherfucker. No, you're not getting anywhere near my dogs. I can take care of myself. Toe to toe with you, I think I'd be fine. Would I be fine, though? You're a sneaky snake. I think you're also a front man. I think there are even darker people behind you because no one who is truly, evil is dumb enough to show their face. Okay? So, Klaus and the rest of the World Economic Forum, I think that you guys are just as much puppets as everyone under you. It's like, because whoever the true evil is and everything like that, they're not showing themselves. But, nice trying to gaslight us. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you so much. Fuck you. Anyway, let's see. Atomic Blonde, anything new with you? Oh, lordy. Oh, well, I have a phone appointment this afternoon to speak to a psychiatrist at the gender clinic of the VA, and I'm going to be struggling to moderate my... Oh my gosh, I'm having a vertigo attack. If I fall out of this chair, don't worry. There's a carpet down here. It's not too hard. Okay. But, yes, I have an appointment later on this afternoon to discuss the detransition that I would like to do. However, I will let you know afterwards how that all goes. Let's see. It didn't feed on me. I take a clove of raw garlic every morning. I burn the hell out of my mouth by mashing up garlic in my mouth and then following it with either coffee or water to dilute it a bit because that shit burns. And what it does is it comes out through my skin. I don't smell bad. In fact, eating the garlic takes care of a lot of body odor issues if you have them. If you eat raw garlic every morning, you won't get yeast infections or fungal infections. And also your armpits, they tend to lessen any kind of BO coming out from under there. But it also serves as an insect repellent, so ticks won't latch. If you've got garlic in your system, a tick won't latch onto you. All right, so it's no bother. I can go out in the woods. Bugs could crawl all over me, and I'm not going to be bit. Even the mosquitoes don't want to sting me, because the action. I think it's the allium, or what is it? It's probably the sulfur. is probably the sulfur in the garlic, which repels, and then it's just beneficial. It's just, between dandelion greens and eating raw garlic, that's my medicine. It comes from God. It's natural, and then every once in a while I get a little high because yes, reality can be a bitch, but God gives us everything we need, and God doesn't give us more than we can handle. So keep that in mind as you go forward in your life through all this minutia. God never gives you more than you can handle. Everything's a lesson, and praise God. Praise God, and remember Jesus Christ. Be led by the Holy Spirit. Things are going to get weird. Things get weirder and weirder the closer you get to God. The weirder and weirder shit gets. But find your way home. Find your way home. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Oh, raw garlic. Good to know. Yes, just a clove a day. That's all you need. You don't need to overdo it. A clove a day in the morning, empty stomach. Your stomach's going to get upset. I can almost guarantee it. It's going to hurt a little bit for about 10 minutes. You're going to feel a little bit nauseated, but it's all part of the therapy. All right, what do we have here? You think they're trying to convince you out of drink? I won't know. I won't know until I speak to them, Atomic. All right, let's see. Yes, there's stuff that you add to dogs' food that does the same. Dogs can actually have small amounts of garlic. I've looked into that. My husband's not too on board with that. He's still doing that Preventix or like whatever that medicine is that you give a dog a chewable. But yes, I've been looking into natural things. I mean, for one, it's less expensive than getting the medication. And two, you know exactly what you're giving your dog. It's like the last thing you want to do is give your pet something they have a side effect. And the next thing you know, your pet has a tumor, and then you're down at the masonry shop getting a gravestone for your dog because you're emotionally upset and distraught, and for some reason, the tens of thousands of dollars you spent on their chemotherapy, you know, that wasn't enough. No, you have to build a whole fucking like lava rock garden for them and get a big ass, memorial stone because you've lost your fucking mind in grief. That kind of shit. Oh, let's see where we are. We're at 8:52. Oh, you know. Oh, is there another? Did we get another chat here? That's so bad for them. Don't give them that medication. I know, but it's a marriage. It's like I have to like with my husband, I have to produce receipts. I can't just go off conjecture. I can't just go off of, what is it called? Feelings. He's very autistic, and he does what autistic people do. I'm kidding. That was a bad joke. That was a very, very bad joke. I'm just so bad. That's why I'm called a shitlord. I'm an asshole. Okay. But no, he is autistic, so he's very pragmatic. He is in the relationship. He plays the role of the anchor to keep me from flying off the handle with all of my emotion about the topics. So yeah, my husband, as progressive and as lefty as he is my anchor, and we love each other. And as I've said before, I wish I could bottle what we have between each other and pour it over the planet and, get some sanity back because we don't agree on shit. Although, like I said, he's had, like, in the last 48 hours, he's taken 2 red pills. So we'll see where that goes. Definitely show him proof and he will be convinced. Not all the time, Atomic. Sometimes he needs to get a little more information, and especially I have to provide it from a multitude of sources. I can't, and they have to be diverse sources. I can't just show him like a segment. Like I can't grab all the information from a conservative, or I can't go out, from the progressive. I have to get many different views of people saying the same thing who normally don't agree on things, and then that's the evidence. In the case of the California bill, all I had to do is show him the words in the bill, and he was able to put that together. So that was his. Oh, it's the twinkle. He was able to put that one together from the abortion bill, and then yesterday when I had the emotional breakdown in the kitchen, I think that was his second red pill. Okay, so let us wrap up the show because we have 45-1 coming up. Here again, I am not sponsored by these people, but I want to support them by getting out the word about Rise Attire. So there we have the link for Rise Attire. Today we do have 45-1 coming up after my show. So here, currently, 45-1 provides you with a beautiful dye sublimated t-shirt, which has a front and a back. I don't know why I can't get the back on this one right here, but it's gorgeous. I ordered 4 of them myself. So we're gonna drop that right in here. And may I just say to all the trannies out there, I would, go and like check out 45-1 actual show. It's like you're gonna be exposed to so much big dick energy that you may consider detransitioning. No joke. All right, so let's see what's going on over here. We have what is this? Oh, this is interesting. 45-1 Actual provided me with this link. This link it shows all the platforms and social media which 451 Actual goes to. I had no idea that this is. Look at this man. Oh, so like let's see over here. Lulu, you taking off? It was good to see you, hon. God bless. All right, so here we have the link to 45-1 Actual. I'm going to drop that in here. I'll be streaming that from 9 to 6. Let's see right here. We have Pastor Chatelet. You can watch 451 through Pastor Chatelet or through here, but I would suggest you go directly to 451's actual site and show him support directly. But there's Pastor Chatelet's stream for whenever you want to go and visit. The pond is open 24/7. It's a tavern-like experience. And let's see, that part is done. And that pretty much well sums up the show. Let's see, we are at 8:57. Looks like I've got a few things left in the chat. Let's see. This I will look at. Oh, that was my own post. What the hell? Here I am looking at like someone sent me this. That's my own stuff. Happy Monday, people! It's been a morning already. We've woken up. We've explored some dark shit, and I hope that the energy flows in you. So I guess I'll close off one more time by. I guess we'll go back on over here, and I'm gonna go to American Citizen, and one last time today I am going to play his video, No More Tolerance. God bless everyone.
Weaponized government political attacks. Antifa burns the country. Black Lives Matter establishes Marxist terrorism. Drag shows sexualize children. Feminism is pushing Marxism. But white men are the problem. How much more will you tolerate? Roe versus Wade is overturned during the election cycle. Americans are encouraged to accept welfare. Children are taught to rely on the government. My Body, My Choice celebrates killing children. Vaccines are made from stem cells, but everybody must get an abortion. How much more will you tolerate? Private email servers holding classified information. American delegates murdered in Benghazi. Hotel room temper tantrums over a lost election. The Russia hoax. Weaponized FBI political raids. They must stop. The Orange Man bad. How much more will you tolerate? Hunter Biden's laptop. Ashley Biden's diary. Epstein's Island. Hiding Maxwell's client list. Child sex trafficking afflicts the United States. Joe Biden thinks 9-year-olds are sexy. How much more will you tolerate? Democrats legalize pedophilia in California. Minor attracted person becomes acceptable. Pedophiles are considered stigmatized. Children attend drag shows. Children get exposed at pride parades. They want to expose genitals to children. How much more will you tolerate? More children suffer from gender dysphoria. Children are being rushed into sex changes. Pronouns are required. Men should be feminine. Women should be masculine. Democrats want you to cut off your penis. How much more will you tolerate? The January 6th FBI Black Flag Op. Ashley Babbitt murdered. Michael Byrd is now the only good cop. Pelosi says her laptop was stolen. 800 people get no court date. Democrats want to arrest everyone. How much more will you tolerate? Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, One World Government, New World Order, the Great Reset. You will own nothing. How much more will you tolerate? Democrats politicize children. Democrats sexualize children. Parents are declared terrorists by the DOJ. Children are told their sexual identities. Child porn is considered normal. Parents have no rights to protect their children. How much more will you tolerate? Election fraud was proven. Stolen votes were verified. Dominion machines were hacked. Mail-in ballots didn't add up. Mules and drop boxes. But only votes for Democrats count. How much more will you tolerate? Billions in Ukraine. Protect the bioweapon labs. Money laundered to the energy companies. Quid pro quo. Tax dollars stolen. Democrats will launder more money. How much more will you tolerate? Bail doesn't work. Violent criminals are set free. Diversity hires matter more. All black people are victims. All brown people don't understand. All white people are racist. How much more will you tolerate? How much more will you tolerate? How much more will you tolerate? What we tolerate now becomes normal to the next generation. We cannot afford to tolerate anymore. No more tolerance.
Fucking month of ass kicking we've had, my friends, and we are coming